Hello bookish friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we are reorganizing my reading room. Let me show you what we're working with before we get further into this. In our guest room, I have, pardon the interruption, in our guest room I have 4 giant stacks of books, right? These are all books that I got from my birthday month. These are pretty much all from my birthday month, these 3 stacks. And they're all books that either I bought or I received off my Amazon wish list. And then this stack right here is my book of the month haul from March. And then I treated myself some books when I got my bonus at work. So that is what that stack is. We need to somehow get all of these books into this room, which is already full to the brim with books. Like, there is legit nowhere for these books to go. So we gotta figure out how we're gonna do this. My plan of attack is to go through every single book in my reading room. I think first what I'm gonna do is try to unhaul some books. Obviously, that's always the first step, but there's not many books I wanna get rid of, and quickly. So obviously I have these bookshelves right here that are on really pretty like wood shelves with gold detailing. I wanna move this bottom one right here to right there, and I have 2 of them that I want to put on this wall, so that's gonna give me a little extra space, but I can't do that until my mom gets home, and she's in Georgia until Monday. So, and of course my camera battery's gonna die. Okay, back in business. Anyways, so I want to move that one shelf and add the second one. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is, I have the shelf in the closet in here, so what I think I'm gonna do is preset a stack of books that's gonna go on this. So once I go through and organize, I'll set aside the stack of books that's gonna go on this shelf. That way I know exactly what I'm working with. I know that, okay, that stack of books is gonna go on here, and I know I have the space to do that. We're gonna start by going through every single book in this room, what we can get rid of first. The problem is I hate getting rid of books, and you never know what the situation is gonna be, and you never know what your reading tastes are gonna be like. For example, I got rid of all my Taylor Jenkins Reid's books that weren't Evelyn Hugo and Carrie Soto. And I was like, all right, like I clearly don't like any of her, well, I read one of her books, it was like maybe in another life, and I didn't love it. Like, I loved Evelyn Hugo and Carrie Soto, so I was like, clearly I don't like her just like regular fiction books. I only like her fiction books about famous main characters, so I got rid of them. And then I heard somebody talking about one of her books, and then I put it on my Amazon wish list and somebody sent it to me, and I was like, see, if I had never got rid of that book, I would have never had to do that. But you live and you learn. Also, I can always just buy another book or use my library. We're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna try to get rid of as much as we can. Like this, for example, Winter Garden by Kristina Hanna. I can't remember, I got this from some sort of used bookstore, but I just watched Haley in Bookland's video and she said she didn't like this, so. And I know I don't like Kristina Hanna. Her writing is just too slow for me, and I'm not a big historical fiction book, and every book I've read from her, I've been like, that was unnecessarily long, so I'll probably definitely unhaul this one. One book down! But anyways, I'm gonna go through every single book on my bookshelves, see what I can get rid of, and then we'll go from there. I'll come back between then. Oh, also, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep a piece of paper out and add prompts to my TBR jar as I go. For example, I wanna add a prompt that says like, a book with bride in the title, so I can get The Last Tale of the Flower Bride off my TBR. And I think that's gonna help me actually get these books off my TBR, because if I go through and say, oh my god, my TV's on, sorry about the TV in the background. If I go through now and say, okay, I really wanna keep this, but I wanna read it, I'm gonna add a prompt to get it off my TBR jar, you know? So I'm gonna do that too, just butting in. Also, I'm going through like a book like this where I really want to read it, but I don't know if it's gonna be my thing. I'm going through and reading the first chapter and just seeing if I like the writing style. So if I don't like the writing style, then I'm gonna get rid of it. Okay, we didn't do great. I got rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books so far. That's not enough. I need to like get it together, or I need to like start reading faster. All right, we're gonna move on to the next shelf. I just went through all my books, got rid of a couple. Not sure if it'll be enough. I'll show you, hold on. So that is the stack of books I got rid of. So a decent amount. Oh, actually there's more over here. I got rid of these 3 too. So we'll add those to the pile. So, not terrible, but not great. So now we need to, I'm gonna take every single book off my shelves, which sounds crazy, I know, because I wanna organize them all by genre. And when I organized my bookshelves last time, we had a bed in this room, so I didn't really have space to do that. And now that we have a couch in here, I have the space to literally take off every book on my shelves and organize them by genre, so I can, like, when I am feeling like a thriller, I can go to my thriller shelf. When I'm feeling YA fantasy, I can go to my YA fantasy thing. When I want to read a romance, I have all my romance in one spot. So we're gonna do that. From there, we're gonna just put all the shit back together. This is overwhelming. This is the overwhelming part, is taking all these books off my shelves, but I know I need to do it. And I know once it's done, I'm gonna be like, wow, this makes so much more sense. So let's go. Sorted. Now I'm gonna bring in the books from the other one and sort them into the respective pile. Okay, here's the current situation. I got all my thrillers right here. These are all mangas or graphic novels. That stack over there are all my book of the month books. That's disgusting. This little pile right here is historical fiction. This little stack right here and those 2 books are all horror. That stack right there, they're all like dystopian, futuristic worlds, like weird stuff like that. So that's that stack. These 2 stacks right here are all YA fantasy. This is YA fiction / thriller, the Natural series. This little stack right here is just books that I've read before. These are all Becky Charlton books. I have my 2 art copies of her books and then the final copy and then another book that I love. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna put these 3 books, because I've already read these 3, with this stack. This stack is books that I've already read and just love and want to keep. So we'll throw serendipity with the romance pile. These 4 piles right here are all fantasy. Those are romance. Those are like just regular fiction. And then I have all romance on those, which I'm gonna try to keep all my romance books on these, because romance are typically in paperbacks, and paperbacks are the only things that fit on those shelves. So if I could put all my romance on those 4 shelves and the one right there, that would be lovely. I am legit sweating right now. I should go put on a tank top instead of the sweatshirt because I'm legit dripping with sweat. So now comes the fun part of putting all of these books back on my shelves. Okay, here's my thinking. I'm thinking this shelf I want to do all my thrillers and just like regular contemporary fiction, and I can overflow contemporary fiction onto my book cart. If I have space, maybe put like that stack right there. But I think on this shelf I want to keep it all fantasy because that's what I have the most of, which is wild because I primarily like thrillers the most. But I want to do like my fantasy books and all of these YA books on this right here. These books all right here are books that I like loved and they're like my 5-star favorites, and I don't want to get rid of them, but I think I need to find a new home for them. Let me just start putting things away and see where we're at. I'm gonna figure out what books I'm gonna put on this shelf. Louis, can you not? We'll go from there. Perfect. Now I think I can fit the rest of my, I have fiction over there, book of the month, and then thrillers, and I think I can fit it all on my white bookshelf. So let's try. Okay, we are done organizing the reading room. It feels great to have this organized. I do have a couple extra little things I have to do, like putting up that extra bookshelf and moving the one, but can't do that until probably Tuesday when my mom is back from Georgia. But let's go over the current organization of my reading room. So starting with this little bookshelf over here, these are just all of my absolute favorite books that literally nobody can touch. So I have the Finley Donovan series, some Hannah Bird books. These are the only two memoirs that I've really ever read and absolutely loved. Iron Flame, obviously, the Killing Stalking graphic novel series by Coogie. This is not like an all-time favorite, but it's just there because it's from my booktuber's favorite and I needed a spot to hold it until I'm done with that video. These are just some of my favorite books. We have Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn, the Sanatorium series by Sarah Pierce, and then two Sarah Penner books. I have Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, TJ Klune, the Housemaid series, The Inheritance Game, and then Kismet by Becky Charlson. One is a finished copy, one is an art copy. So, on here, these are the books that I've read so far in the month of March. I got this cute little reading figurine from Marshall's yesterday. This is the little TBR. So this top shelf holds my TBR for the month and then the books that I read for the month. And I love this setup. It works so well for me. Over here, I have YA fantasy, and then it goes into YA like thrillers, and then just a bunch of other different YA genres. And then this is what I'm calling my like dystopian little section. They're basically just books that are like otherworldly, like futuristic and all of that. We'll go over here. We have all fantasy, my little Sarah J. Maas section, more fantasy, more fantasy. Down here, it's a little wish-washy because I just had to make things fit. These first three books are books that are like my absolute favorites. Nobody can borrow. I have a couple books that I bought at a library sale. These are all thrillers. They just didn't fit on my other shelf. And then we go into fantasy, fantasy, fantasy. This little section right here are all historical fiction. And then we have all of my horror books. Moving on to the TBR cart. This top portion houses my 24 books I want to read in 2024. So when I pick the prompt from the little jar each month, I just select it from there. Down here, I put a bunch of paperback thrillers, so that's all of that. And then I put all of my favorite books here. These are from my bookshelf. These are all books that I've read before and absolutely loved and don't want anybody to borrow, but they're paperbacks, so they fit in here. Onto these shelves. Up here we have all thrillers. These are like contemporary fiction because they didn't fit where I needed everything else to go. And then thriller slash contemporary fiction. These are all my book of the month books in color coordination, of course. And then down here I also have book of the month up until like this point. And then I have contemporary fiction right there. This shelf I absolutely love, minus these two. These are contemporary fictions, they just didn't fit anywhere else. But then this is my graphic novel slash manga section, and then all of my middle grade books. So we have Victory Gallop by Sarah Ward, the Nevermore series, and then obviously Harry Potter. And then I have my little Harry Potter mini Funko Pops, and then this little mandrake. Watch this thing, it's so cute. Ready? My sister got me this. It's so noisy, but that's that. Okay, on this next shelf we have literally all thrillers, and then the last two right here, these two are books that I've already read and loved. And then I have a really pretty copy of Black Beauty, so those are all thrillers. And then down here, these are also all books that I have read and loved. This is a book that I need to read, but it's part of the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. It's the last book I need to read in the series, so I just put them together. And then I also read Hunted by Darcy Coates. Loved that book. This is the bookshelf I need to put up when my mom gets back, but it's just a mishmash of stuff. These are all thrillers, all my Sherry LaPena books. It's a thriller, and then some like contemporary fiction books on this side. That will be going up there once my mom gets back. That bottom one will also be moving over there. And then lastly, we have these three little shelves. These are all romance. These are obviously the Magnolia Park series, Just the Hastings. And then most of these are pretty much romance, and then those are also all romance. That's like my dark romance section over there. So those are pretty much all romance. And these two stacks are all the books I am getting rid of. Don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I might try out Pango, but honestly that seems like a lot of work and I just don't feel like doing it, so we'll see. I might just donate them to like a little free library or bring them to the assisted living home my grandma's at, so we'll see. That is that. Like I said, I just have to move those two shelves, put one up, and then my reading room will pretty much be complete. But yeah, that was a lot of work. I'm tired now. I'm gonna go reward myself with maybe a second cup of coffee once I finish this. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the day reading my current read, which is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Really liking that. If you have any questions about anything that is on my bookshelves or any of the books in this room or anything about this room, make sure to leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure to show it some love, give it a like, leave a comment below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.